After about 10 days, the young fish receive artemia as the first supplementary food. What are the larger adolescent discus fed?
I give big discus only 2 beefs, beef heart, and bloodworms.
A large amount of live food is always on hand to feed the numerous hungry mouths. Approximately 100 breeding pairs produce, according to the hatching rate, a large number of young fish that must be solicitously cared for. A varied diet as well as good water quality guarantee a healthy development. How often is the water changed in the aquariums, which are partly occupied with many fish?
I change the water 2 times daily.
Because all bits of leftover food and wastes are removed with every change of the water, and because of the large amounts of fresh water used, there is hardly any chance for disease. Because of this high-quality care, the discus fish develop in a healthy manner. The temperature of the water is generally between 28 and 30 degrees Celsius. Usually the water comes out of the tap with a temperature of 28 degrees or higher. 3 large water tanks next to the facility increase the amount of water pressure if needed, or serve respectively as a reserve or provide warmer water due to the higher daytime temperatures. This farm has approximately 150 aquariums and approximately 10,000 fry are produced here every year. When asked about his hopes for the future, Mr. Teok replied that he would like to breed golden discus fish one day. How and when this might come about is still in the stars, but without hopes and dreams, the future is bleak. The fact of the matter is that this farm already produces very fine discus fish. How much the aquarium with the unusual fish will play a part in the future remained unknown. Are they only remnants, or are they already the testing assortment for new experiments? Aside from the small and larger breeder, there are also specialists. Ronnie Chu is one of them with his farm. In his nearly 60 aquariums, he has limited himself to breeding only a few special discus color variations. In approximately 3 to 4 years of work, and with an intensive and careful selection, he has succeeded in crossbreeding a new and very appealing color form, which he calls the golden rainbow. It is a new, very beautiful and appealing color form that has distant parallels to other new color variations. But in comparison, the golden rainbow lacks the black colorings on the body and fins. Ronnie Chu attends to the golden rainbow and a variation of the so-called ghost discus, the gold head ghost, which is an attractive enhancement of the ghost discus originating in Penang. In this case as well, normal tap water is used for general care and breeding. The tap water, which is often cloudy, is middle hard and has a pH level of between 6.5 and 6.8. For regular care as well as breeding, the water temperature is kept at around 30 degrees Celsius, which is achieved by heaters on cooler days when the temperature drops to 25 to 28 degrees. This happens above all during the rainy season because the water cools down and comes with a temperature of 25 to 26 degrees Celsius out of the tap. Only around 4,000 discus fish are bred each year in this comparatively small facility, mainly because of the specialization. The reproduction of the golden rainbow is especially interesting. Still, Ronnie Chu is at the very beginning with this breeding line. How many golden rainbow breeding pairs does he have at the moment? At the moment, I have 8 pairs. As the first breeder of this new color variation, Ronnie Chu devotes special attention to these fish. Their bill of fare includes beef heart, beef and muscle meat. Young fish are fed shrimp eggs and a mixture of beef heart, muscle meat and artemia. On the 5th or 6th day, fry receive freshly hatched nauplia from Artemia salina, and at this point they are separated from the parents, possibly somewhat early. That the young fish and the parent animals must be attended to very carefully is obvious. A question for Ronnie Chu. What are the breeding animals fed?
我们的饲料是用牛心、牛肉、鱼
My
饵。
breeding animals receive the same food as all the other fish. Despite all of the care taken, the new line of Golden Rainbow is full of surprises. Ronnie Chu also hopes for the future that the 6 breeding aquariums will always be filled with many healthy and beautiful offspring. The Golden Rainbow, a colour variety created by Ronnie Chu, and possibly the Gold-Head Ghost as well, will soon enthuse the world of discus lovers. They will most probably conquer the hearts of the aquarist in a triumphal march. Bangkok, in the Thai language Krang Thep, the city of angels, the capital of Thailand, is one of the constantly growing metropolis in Southeast Asia. Bangkok, it is seething traffic that stifles everything, a metropolis breaking at the seams, boundless industry, and despite it all, smiling and friendly people. Bangkok, it is also splendidly restored exotic temple grounds. Above all, the large complex of the Grand Palace with its sacral district, whose entry gates are guarded by the yaks, the giant guard figures. Gilded Naga snakes and Garunda figures adorn the different temples. Gates decorated with mother of pearl, as well as carefully gilded gables, embellish the reverentially cared for places of prayer and monastery buildings. A golden pagoda is a splendid landmark on these grounds. The temple grounds of the Wat Phra Keo is one of the largest tourist attractions of the country and links the history of old Siam with present-day Thailand. Bangkok. It is, aside from all of the industry, also the love for animals. This is not only evident in the unusually large number of animals presented at the Sunday and weekend markets. Aside from dogs, cats and other animals, very many aquarium and pond fish are offered for sale here. An unusually wide-ranging assortment for a partially mobile market that is only open 3 days a week. Bangkok made a name for itself in the field of aquaristics quite early with the export of aquarium fish. Important export companies have supported these efforts for many years. Well-known and long-established companies like Star Aquarium keep extensive holding facilities for this purpose. In 500 aquariums and numerous large cement tanks, the fish are kept here in interim so that they are prepared to be transported throughout the world. Just how large the number of aquarium fish breeders and merchants is in Bangkok and the region is shown by the wide range of offered goods at the fish market that takes place once a week and shouldn't be confused with the Sunday or weekend markets. Here, aquarium fish are pre-packed in small and large plastic bags according to their species and size and sold for retail sale. Merchants buy their products here. At this market, one very seldom finds the exporter as a buyer. The opinion is often wrongly held that the fish offered here do not meet the criteria for export and therefore are second-rate. That the best animals are exported anyway. But that is an assertion that cannot be confirmed after a visit to this market. For the most part, there are many different species on sale. Aside from the typical Thai fish, the pla cat, known as the Siamese fighting fish Betta splendens, there are also discus fish in various sizes. Mostly adolescent fish can be found here, but there are also large sexually mature breeding fish. The colour blue is predominant here too. Aside from these and many other species, one can also find for special occasions these so-called dyed fish that are brilliantly coloured for a few weeks because of a special treatment. Water tanks for a change of water and oxygen bottles for the transport of the fish are on hand as a customer service. Many of the fish bought here can later be found in the numerous aquarium and pet shops. There you can choose between a wide range of fish species and equipment. For the caring of and breeding of the more sensitive species, the water in Bangkok is generally quite rich in minerals and also very alkaline. But it is different outside of the bend of the Menam River on the westerly side of the city in the Thonburi district. There, a soft and slightly acidic water comes out of the water taps, and because of this, the corresponding fish, among them the discus, can be taken care of. Mr. Somsak is one of the many breeders of these fish that have made a name for themselves in Bangkok because of the high quality of their breeds. His main breeding facility is placed in a house, whereby the breeding aquariums are kept on the first floor. Compared with Hong Kong, Bangkok is a tropical region, but nevertheless, the night temperatures in the cooler seasons of the year can sometimes sink to 15 degrees Celsius. Therefore, heating, or at least warming the breeding rooms is absolutely necessary, and that requires a more or less enclosed building. The best time for breeding is between the months of August and March. The rest of the year, it is usually too warm and does not allow productive breeding. Mr. Somsak's entire facility is spread over 3 locations and has a total of approximately 500 aquariums. 200 of them are used as breeding tanks. According to the season, they hold 50 to 100 breeding pairs. The parent animals should be at least 14 months old for breeding. To increase the harmony of the pairs, 5 males and 5 females are placed together, and the pairs that find each